Okay, we'll call this meeting to order, and Commissioner Speakos will lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Commissioner Day.
Here.
Commissioner Hewitt. Commissioner Rooks.
Here.
Commissioner Robertson.
Here.
Commissioner Speaka.
Here.
Commissioner Terry.
Here.
All right, approval of minutes for August 4th and 18th. I will be completely honest, I've not had a chance to go through these thoroughly, just because of everything else that's been on our plate for the weekend and documents. So what are your thoughts? Do we have any corrections so far, or can these be tabled till next meeting, or?
Some of them are a month old already.
Yeah, that's
I
a
move we-
concern.
I move we approve them.
Have you reviewed them?
Have you reviewed? You've reviewed
You've reviewed
August
them?
4th and 18th?
I read them over, but something that long ago, I'm not sure I remember exactly what it was anyway.
I have a few edits on the August 18th. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments, or? Good, okay, we'll approve minutes of August 4th and August 18th. As stands. Okay, no courtesies, no proclamations. We'll begin with board and commission reports, and we'll start with Commissioner Robertson, who's joined us.
I have nothing to report. I'm sorry that I'm remote.
We appreciate you tuning in. Commissioner Speaka,
Nothing to report.
Commissioner Bueller,
Nothing to report.
and Commissioner Roots,
Nothing to report.
Wow.
Commissioner Speaka, or Terry.
The Central Montana Foundation met on August 26th, and they approved the $4,000 grant for Central Montana Youth Mentoring Program. They have 150 kids in that program now, compared with about 80, like 7 years ago. 150 kids in that program, so that's pretty amazing. District 6 HRDC Clearinghouse Connections, $300,000 to assist local residents with unforeseen emergencies. That's kind of a standing one that they do each year. The Heart of Montana Farm in the Dell, $4,999 to help pay for the preliminary architectural report in preparation for construction of the group home. The Lewistown Soccer Club, $4,499 for the purchase of small-sided goals for players in the spring club and fall city recreation program. So 4 pretty large grants were given in August.
So does that, on that soccer association, does that benefit the Park and Rec department of the program they're running?
So we play our fall league up at their complex. So we can touch on that more in the report, but that is one of the MOUs that we're working with. So we provide insurance basically for that program and have an internal MOU with the organization to host our events on there.
Currently, the city does not cover the soccer club's insurance.
Not their own activities, yes.
Unless they were registered through the Park and Rec?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. And as far as Park and Rec department goes, we will be having our next board meeting this Wednesday night. Is it now?
No, it's tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Yes, today's a double Monday. What is it today? What double Monday? It's 7 p.m. at the Civic Center. And I know there's also some organizations that are going around and doing some trail cleanup to assist with the park. let's turn the time to city manager for the report.
Yep, so we are gearing up for the Choke Cherry Festival. This year's activities start Friday night with live music in the downtown, and then have the usual Saturday activities, including the pancake breakfast, the festival, the Choke Cherry Run, and then Trails and Ales this year. It will be held from 4 to 7 p.m. with music from Kyle Shobe and the Walking Boys. Recently, the City County Planning Board had a conditional use application for a 40-child daycare facility to be located at 310 Juneau. This is the same location of a smaller 10, I believe 6 to 10 infant care center previously. During that meeting, the public hearing was concluded, but the actual action items were tabled pending some additional information requested. That information was a site plan for the facility and an off-street parking plan for the staff. So once they provide that information, we'll get them scheduled back before that board, where they will make a recommendation to you guys. So stay tuned for more information on that. For the second meeting in September, I would like the commission to finalize their plan for biosolids in the future, the direction that we're looking at. Again, you guys have all seen the Robert Pesha and Associates plan for that. If you have specific questions or would like me to schedule RPA to attend that meeting as well, please let me know. This year's league conference will be held in Billings. It is October 15th through the 17th. They have not finalized their agenda yet, but once that is finalized, we will share that with the commission. And if you guys are interested in attending any of those sessions, let Nikki or I know, and we can get you registered. We did just recently complete the annual inspections of the dam. This was the one that we go out and camera the outlet facilities. And so once those reports are finalized, we will share those reports as well. Then kind of as I alluded to, the Park and Rec department is been busy. We are continuing to work on the year-round facility at the pool. This will be the home for the concessions, locker rooms, and restrooms at Frank Day Park. It is currently dried in, so they hope to continue their work this fall and into the winter. Again, this would not have been possible without some great partnerships. Those include the Fergus County Recreation District, the Friends of the Pool, the Lewistown Ice Skating Association, and the swim team. They have also, the Lewistown Ice Skating Association did submit their pre-application for a cover over the ice rink. Again, they are about probably in the review process of those pre-apps, and so hopefully they make it through there, and then we will go into the funding portion, so another competitive process for that. Also, as I touched on, the Park and Rec department is evaluating all of the MOUs they have with the various groups that use our facilities. Soccer, the Ice Skating Association, all of the baseball groups that utilize the Oxermont, making sure that the agreements are up to date and that all parties understand what is expected. We hope to have these reviewed this fall and into the winter, so they should be before you guys the first of the year. It's kind of our goal. So that's all I have. Thank you.
So, when will we find out about the ice rink cover?
I don't know when the actual scoring, I think it happens over the winter and it goes to the legislature, so it's fairly lengthy.
Ollie, that, added to that, what, East Juneau.
West Juneau.
Any other questions for the city manager regarding the report? Okay, we'll move on to public comment. So we have public comment for non-agenda items. Anything that's not on the agenda can be done with public comment. So please state your name and address and.
My name is Charlie Fowle. My address is 198 Gilded Stage Road, which is outside the city limits, but I own a rental property inside the city limits, which is 715 Fifth Avenue North. I'm hearing somewhat upset about a claim that I've had ongoing with the city since the end of April. At the end of April, the city was doing some water line work where the alley next to my house runs into Fifth Avenue. And the two city workers over there managed to back up a backhoe into my yard shed next to my house. We were not notified of this at all. The city made no attempt to notify the police, knock on the door, write a note. The Fowles have owned that house for 51 years, so it's pretty evident and obvious who lives there. So we found it when we went to check on the property the day after it happened, Tuesday, April 22nd. So I called the police just to make sure, find out if there was, any note or anything had been turned in. And there hadn't been, so a couple officers came down and we went through the whole investigative process. And we were able to determine that our neighbor's Ring doorbell footage covers virtually everything from Evelyn to Virginia, got the whole act on camera, as well as, I'm not sure if it was an advisor or somebody they called, showed up at one point, didn't even get out of the truck, and just talked to the two workers that were there for a couple of minutes and then took off. And then those workers were around for a little bit longer and then they left. The workers did make an attempt to try and stuff everything back into the back of the shed where they'd torn off the back of the shed, so that was close. But we didn't have anything stolen. I gotta say, I think that's just because the alley had been marked off on both sides and there was no traffic up and down that alley at that point. I will say that if they had gone about 6 inches further into the right, they would have taken out my carport and probably the suburban part under it, as well as a back porch and a barbecue grill and a few other things. And if they had gone about 3 feet to the right, they would have taken out what was then the Birdwell family's garage. So those two guys probably need a little help. So we reported the incident. Holly gave me the form. I filled it out. We sent it in. I was out of town almost the entire month of May, so it took me a while to get everything in order, get measurements, get things done. But it was a 2 to 3 month process to get that claim taken care of. And then I really had to fight with the claimant to get 75% value for my shed. And I find it really disturbing that the city only insures at replacement cost or actual cash value for damages that it creates. I think I'm out $1,000 on a shed that was perfectly fine until, city workers smoked it. And so now that's gonna cost me an extra $1,000 to replace something that was totally fine before the city got involved. And I realized I didn't read the fine print and I released the city of all, responsibility when I took that settlement, but it was between taking that settlement and filing with my insurance company and seeing my insurance rates go up because of something not my fault. The things that are concerning me here are, one, we weren't notified. And I believe Holly when Holly says that she thought somebody tried to reach out to us. But judging by the characteristics of the two kids that were running the backhoe, nobody tried to reach out to us. We have ring footage of them doing everything but knocking on the door, writing a note. I mean, there's ring footage of them swinging the backhoe into the window of the truck that they towed the backhoe over there with and destroying the glass and leaving that all over in front of our house that day too. So they had an eventful day. Some other concerns, just frustrating that it went on this way. Like I said, I think it's not fair to treat the citizens in a manner in which it's not our fault that we're labeled with, or, saddled with financial burden because of it. Not to mention my tenant is asking me daily when I'm going to get the destroyed shed out of there, replace it with something she can use. That's also my mother, so it's been an ongoing battle. So those are a lot of my concerns. I mean, there's not a 25% off shed store anywhere where I can go buy a brand new shed at 25% off that replaces what I have. Everything I own, I'm sure most of you being business owners and, you know, management level positions, you know, I'm sure your stuff is insured at replacement cost, because we all know things go up in value, not down, and we don't want to be saddled with that burden. So, I would like my $1,000 from the city. I think it's not fair that I'm being treated this way. I am very concerned that the city feels it's okay to have insurance that is subpar and at replacement, not at replacement value, but at actual cash or depreciated value, when they wreck something that belongs to the residents. I can understand their need to save money, and if they want to do that with their own equipment, I think that's fine. But I don't think it's okay to, you know, short the citizens when it's the city stuff. So that's just kind of my piece. You all have this letter in your inboxes. My wife sent it to everybody. There's a picture of what the shed looked like after the city got done with it. Hung out there for a few days. So they made an effort to push most of it back in. But like I said, a little bit further, there's a power pole and a, you know, support for a carport right there and the suburban under it. So, anyway, that's all I have, and I would appreciate you know, if nothing else, I realize I'm probably out 1,000, but I think the city needs to review its insurance policies and, probably get some better insurance. Because the police officer said this isn't the first time and probably never the last that they're gonna get called to an incident where it's a city that wrecks somebody's property. So, something for y'all to consider, and I will leave it at that.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bueller?
I just wanted to confirm that it's $1,000 is the difference.
It is. So what I did was, I called the Amish store with the exact measurements, had them take out windows, because mine did not have windows, and they quoted me at $4,000, $39.99. And I made the offer to the city to remove the old shed, and they weren't interested in that. My time is pretty valuable, and so I put $400 in there for removal, because when I break down what I make an hour, I'm still giving you guys a deal. So that's how I came to 4,400.
When you negotiated with the city, you had mentioned that you had to negotiate to come up even to a 75% value.
I did. He was gonna give me like $2,500, and I told him that was ridiculous.
Is that MMI? What's our
Yes.
liability?
Yep, and MIA is our insurance provider. And I did reach out to them. So in the city's memorandum of coverage, we do give MMIA full settlement authority. And so, as Mr. Powell pointed out, he did sign a binding release with them, saying that this was resolved. You guys can, negotiate a goodwill offering outside of that, but that is not defensible. So if there was any further action or things like that, they can't defend that action. And so just acknowledging that. They also did say that they would be willing to provide the group, some education. We can schedule them at a future meeting to just better understand what our coverage is and how we could look at changing that in the future.
Please clarify non-defensible. When you say that phrase, what does that mean?
So, I mean, in the future, if somebody said, well, you did this for someone else, or this amount, I mean, suddenly it changes outside of that, yes. It sets a precedent that they cannot articulate. Again, it's outside of their normal course and scope, which I think pretty much every insurance depreciates every asset we have. And so that is an industry standard that is being done for them.
But I do think there is a significant point there that the city destroyed a piece of property, did very little, if anything, to reach out for communication. And, in essence, we're not having to pay for the entire cost of the
mess up that we had.
What's our normal policy? I mean, is there not a policy in place, or procedure, I guess I should say, in place for when the city, you know, we had this up on Castle View too, there for the city damage
So-
property.
Anytime there's damage, we recommend, insurance paperwork be filed. I know Public Works did reach out to your renter, who was out of state at the time, and so they did not get that. But
They have no record of that on their.
Ernie did tell me that he reached out, so again, I can't substantiate that myself, so.
They have no record of that on their phones. A quick search of the cadastral was showing that they're not the owners.
So are you thinking maybe an email went out or a letter, or did Ernie say at all how he contacted them?
Ernie told me by phone.
And the insurance that we have, that's a statewide thing. Are other cities being insured that same, or Lewistown doesn't decide what kind of, does that make sense? Like it's a statewide.
Yes,
So our municipality is being insured the same way other cities are.
correct.
So I researched that, and municipalities have the option to insure at a replacement cost. Many smaller municipalities choose to insure at a depreciated value.
I understand that there may be a precedent set and we may be indefensible, if we do comply to pay. But I also think that there is a precedent set if we don't. And that is in how we interact with our public. And I feel like if the city does destroy property, it is the city's job to fix that.
Holds us accountable.
Exactly.
Commissioner Robertson, any comments on the subject? Were you able to hear Mr. Fowl, okay?
Yeah, I agree with Commissioner Bueller. While I've spent my career dealing with insurance and it's never easy and it never seems fair, it certainly we would be setting a precedence, and I think it's important we get educated from our carrier after the fact here. But in the meantime, this seems like it seems like if the evidence is exactly as Mr. Fowl stated, that he should not be held responsible for cost that was at the hands of our people, and that we should do something to compensate him for that.
It's a $1,000 phone call.
Does the commission have any direction on how we want to proceed with this, or?
Put it on the next agenda.
Can we take action?
Yeah, you can just give direction and we can work with the files to provide an invoice for that amount.
Yeah, I
There's lots of motions that can come forward. Someone has a motion, negotiation.
I was just gonna say, I think, I would agree, if we screw up, nobody should have to pay for that cost. I'd love to see if insurance would allow us to do replacement for other people's and keep ours at a lower rate of the depreciated value. I'd love to look into that. And then clearly there was a massive screw up in not notifying you, so looking at that policy, maybe that requires better documentation of contact or something, I think would be good. So I think legally, like you admit, it's unfortunate, but I'm sure I would make the same exact mistake. Say, yes, I want, get me this money, get my check coming, so.
And I was very upfront with the insurance company. I said, I'm gonna take this claim because I'm not gonna let my insurance rates go up because of something that was not my fault.
Yeah.
And I told Matt, the claims administrator on the phone, I said, I am going to the city for the last thousand. I'm pretty upfront about that.
But I definitely get the concern of setting a precedent and, today's $1,000, tomorrow it's 50,000, and we can't. necessarily cover everything like that, which is why I think revisiting our insurance immediately or as soon as possible to make sure we don't get into that kind of situation by setting a precedent would be good. But for this case, I would make a motion, if I may, that we compensate Mr. Fowl for the difference between the insurance coverage and the cost of the shed.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Speaka and a second from Commissioner Terry. Does anyone have any questions regarding the motion or more discussion from the commission? Anything from the public?
Yeah, I believe it should that, $1,000.
In the meanwhile, this may have to be like a case by case.
I think we'll get the insurance in, I mean, they offered to provide us the education, so.
Okay, with no further discussion on the motion? Okay, let's do a roll call vote.
Okay, the motion is to compensate Mr. Fowl for the shed in the amount of $1,000, is that correct? Commissioner Bueller,
Aye.
Commissioner Day,
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes,
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Commissioner Speaka,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Aye. In the meantime, I also think that, like Commissioner Speaka said, that there needs to be a policy procedure, something for when city employees damage anything. I mean, what if they have hit the probable? I think that there must be some sort of, even if it is just to report it to the police or report it to you immediately. Maybe they're not the ones that have to call whoever, you know, that it needs to, there needs to be some sort of, because I mean, that could have been a much bigger emergency than.
And I would like to add too, like as we look at this issue, you know, based on a case by case basis, I mean, you obviously did your homework by providing us with photos and more in-depth and taking the time to really explain the situation and what the grievances are, not just the monetary issue, but the grievances of not being notified and the concern that you have for the community of what insurance would cover. All of those different things really come to the table, and you were definitely involved with your homework on that, so thank you.
Is it a reasonable timeline to see a policy or procedure in front of the commission to show that we're not gonna just hit stuff and run in the coming weeks by October, or?
I think that's reasonable. Okay. And we'll also work with the insurance to get them through Zoom at least too.
Thank you.
At a future time, I'm happy to work with you on that, Holly. That was a big issue in the industry I was in, and I have a fair amount of experience dealing with those.
You damaged something, not advice.
And as a parting thought, just know that insurance companies never lose.
Okay, moving on with the consent agenda, what questions do we have? Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.
Questions on the acknowledgement of claims. We're looking at August 16th through the 31st of this year. It's exciting to see this Snapchat.
It's getting there. I think they're very happy to have it
Very exciting.
ready for winter.
So I'll find it here.
This one needs a motion, right? This is a motion down.
Commissioner Rubes.
Oh, got a question, okay.
Just trying to look for it.
Yeah, it's on page 6. 57667 BJG Motorsports. it just says brakes.
Mhm.
Now, $1,300 to do brakes on a car is a lot of money. So, there had to have been something else.
This is for a police car, and we actually have police chief in attendance, we'll let him have.
So it was all, new brakes and rotors, and the ones we have on our police cars are race performance,
Yeah.
high-speed chase, so they're.
Yeah, you gotta stop them cars.
They're a lot more expensive.
But still, that was just a brake job.
Yeah, brakes and rotors.
And will you also speak to kind of the agreement you have with PJG as to maintenance on your vehicles and stuff?
Yeah, so, we're in a fleet management program with them essentially, so, we get all the best, parts, but then we also get, all of our oil changes are synthetic, and by going into this agreement, if we have certain issues with the vehicle, it's covered under this fleet management program, so that if we have a big expense come up, we can show that our vehicles are routinely maintenance to a specific standard. So then it potentially can lower our maintenance costs in the future. So, for example, an oil change costs $75 right now, which is $10-15 more than a normal oil change. So stuff like that. So your routine maintenance is a touch more expensive, but it covers us if we have something major go on, and we need to show that we have that routine maintenance happen. So, because if you look year over year, vehicle maintenance expenditures are really high. So it's just a way to try to lower those over the course of time.
Can you, just for the good of the order, tell us about how many miles each year those police cars see?
35,000 miles a year, probably, per vehicle. So, you know, typical lifespan, we try to replace every police vehicle after 3 years of service. And when we retire a police vehicle, it'll have 100 to 120,000 miles on it. And that's all majority 30 miles an hour and low. It's slower, lots of
Stop and
stop
go.
and go, which is really hard on vehicles. Last year, we did not replace a vehicle, even though we had the budget to do it. We decided, one, that our vehicles that we needed to replace could make it one more year.
Okay.
And then we used a portion of that funds because we had a bunch of computers crash, we had to have new computers. So not to double up on our capital expenditures, we just did the computers, which was a fraction of the cost of the vehicle. Then this year, we'll go ahead and move forward with replacing that one vehicle that's 4 years old now. But when I first took over as chief, we were replacing one vehicle every other year, but then we get to a year we needed two because they were just wearing out. So probably starting 4-ish years ago, we just said we just need to budget to replace one vehicle per year. Just to make sure that we have the equipment we need for when shit does hit the fan.
There was the one year where we had a heck of a time getting a vehicle.
Yeah,
that was
COVID, that was COVID. Yeah, when COVID happened, we got bids, approved bids for vehicles, and it took a year to just get the vehicles into our possession.
And that was part of the reason we didn't go out last year, is we ended up with 2 in 1 year
Right.
because of those
I know.
delays.
Things don't happen fast. But I know where not to go for a brake job.
Don't buy a race car, you don't have to worry about it.
Stay out of
Go ahead,
those-
$1,500? That's crazy.
I have a question on page 4. Can you just walk through that first grouping under 57,647?
The Fergus County.
Yep.
And so this is the, rent basically for the attorney agreement. And so again, that is for 2 years.
No, it's only for one.
Oh,
It
sorry.
just looks like
budgeted
fiscal
for
year
two.
24, 25.
Yeah. But we do have the current year that will still be billed.
So this is going to be a backdated.
No, I budgeted for 2 years of this year.
It just under it says fiscal year 24, 25.
Correct. But to keep my bank, my cash and everything straight, we just budgeted for 2 this year.
They did not bill us last year.
And is that why there are negative amounts?
The negative amounts are what we, take off for the health insurance for the city attorney.
So as part of that agreement, we pay X amount for the space and then share the expense of health insurance, so. And that is, again, divided out amongst several different accounts.
Thanks. I move we approve the claims that have been paid from August 16th, 2025 to August 31st, 2025, in the amount of $129,335.17. Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Bueller and a second from Commissioner Speaka. Any other questions or discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving the consent agenda, raise your right hand.
My hand is raised.
Awesome, thank you, the consent agenda is passed. Moving on to the regular agenda for the evening. Item number 1 is discussion and action on approving resolution 4208. A resolution approving an application from Reese Townsend for an additional TIF funds made to the Lewistown Tax Increment Financing District Board. City Manager Holly Phelps.
Yep, so Race is familiar with, the TIF programs and has utilized TIF funding to do improvements to his adjacent property. This is actually his residence located at 420 First Avenue South. Again, he has gone through the process of demoing the old structure and is working to replace that structure. And so this is funding the demolition, utility upgrades, and some landscaping at that property. The TIF board did have a meeting last week regarding this and did approve the application. And I don't know, Tim was in attendance and may have, some other thoughts there too.
I would just comment that it's a significant improvement from the taxable value in the district.
Is it on a business or is it on personal? I think it's both, isn't it?
Correct.
He's got a business in
Because
the.
he did it last year. Business portion of it.
I move to approve resolution number 4208.
Second.
Awesome. We have a motion from Commissioner Terry, a second from Commissioner Bueller. Is there any other questions with the motion from the commission? Comments? Anything from the public? Okay, let's do a roll call vote.
We are approving resolution number 4208, a resolution approving an application for TIF funds made to the Lewistown Tax Increment Financing District Board for Race Townsend for 420 First Avenue South. Commissioner Bueller.
Aye.
Commissioner Day.
I just wanted to also point out, should we have noted that within the packet was a list of all of the payouts done?
That was a request that Mr.
Requested
Rubes.
that, yeah, and job. Yes, and I.
Commissioner Rubes.
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson.
Aye.
Commissioner Speaka.
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Aye. Thank you. Approved. Item number 2, discussion and action on approving a business license for 7C Electric with Kirby Dingle. City Manager Holly Phelps.
Yep, so included in your packet is the business license application, from Mr. Dingle. Again, he is a contractor that has done a lot of work in the area, and is now off on his own and has submitted an application.
Does he have all of the appropriate insurance and bonding and all the things?
And it has been provided to us.
Thank you.
I move we approve the business license for 7C Electric.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Speaka, a second from Commissioner Bueller. Any other questions regarding this business license? Anything from the public? Okay, let's do a roll call vote.
We are approving approving a business license for 7C Electric. Commissioner Bueller,
Aye.
Commissioner Day,
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes,
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Commissioner Speaka,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Aye.
Okay, approved. Item number 3, discussion and action on approving resolution number 4201. Did you go backwards?
Yes, we did, because I had to, publish all my resolutions, and so I didn't know that the, TIF one was gonna be on this agenda, and so I just moved it to the front. I apologize.
Let's just make sure numbers are right. Okay, a resolution redefining the boundaries of street maintenance district number 1 in the city of Lewistown. City Manager Holly Phelps.
Yep, so the map is the large document that was provided. Again, that is the city limits of Lewistown. It does include the 3 properties that were annexed this last year, which is the Hatch property, the Reed property, and the boundary change for the audit. So those are the 3 changes for this last year.
Does this, work with the proposed snow removal stuff? Does this affect it at all?
No.
Everything within the red has been properly annexed.
With what now?
Within the red
Is
is
annexed.
that is all annexed.
Correct, yeah. And the entire town is within that, one street maintenance district.
The whole town in one district?
Correct.
Do we have a motion or more discussion regarding the district?
So are there any changes, just adding in those annexations?
Correct. To the map itself, it's just the addition of those 3 properties.
Okay, and the zoning process has been followed on those annexations?
All of those are zoned, yes.
I move we approve resolution 4201.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Speaka, a second from Commissioner Bueller. Any other questions regarding this district? From the commission or the public?
After the, proposal.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I'm gonna say that proves the boundaries.
Thank you. Okay, let's do a roll call vote.
We are approving resolution number 4201, redefining the boundaries of street maintenance district number 1 in the city of Lewistown. Commissioner Bueller,
Aye.
Commissioner Day,
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes,
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Commissioner Speaka,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Okay, item number 4, we will now have a public hearing on the cost of maintenance of Boulevard District number 12, the cost of maintenance reserve and administration for lighting districts and cost of maintenance in street maintenance district number 1. That public hearing is now open. City Manager Holly Phelps.
Yep. So at previous meetings, we've discussed the rates on these. Again, the Boulevard District, we did decide not to make any changes to the assessments on that. The lighting district is the same as previous. We felt that there was adequate reserves within that district. And the street maintenance, we did increase that for this year to 4 cents a square foot.
questions for the city manager from the commission?
You know what,
So it sounds like there's adequate funding now. We've all been exposed to a lack of increase in a timely manner on certain items and then getting hit by a large jump. I don't like that. So as long as we can kind of maintain this, without having to have that happen again, that's my suggestion.
We did, over the last few years, did update the light fixtures themselves.
Okay.
That was a Northwestern Energy.
Yep.
So they went to the LED fixtures.
That was
And
nice.
because of that, we did see a substantial cost savings.
Yep.
And so we were able to decrease the rates on the lighting district, a couple years ago, and felt confident with the rates that we have seen over the last year to, project the same revenues this year.
Because we went for 3 years, right, without increasing anything, and then now,
In the street
in
maintenance.
the street maintenance,
Yes.
okay. Any other questions from the public or the commission?
what section is Boulevard, did you show that on Boulevard on 7th Avenue North?
Exactly, East and West Boulevard and 7th Avenue North are the areas. Yes.
Okay, we'll close the public hearing. And move on to item 5, which is discussion and action on approving resolution number 4202, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Lewistown levying and assessing a special tax to cover the cost of maintenance of Boulevard District Number 12 in the City of Lewistown, Montana for the fiscal year beginning July 1st of this year and ending June 30th of next. City Manager Holly Phelps.
Yep, so the Boulevard rates, as we discussed, were proposed to remain the same. Again, the entire assessment, brings in $3,759.29. We've had lengthy discussions as to, that benefits the entire community, and, have also, looked at making improvements to those boulevards in the future. And I can tell you, those are projects that we hope to start tackling in the near future, both looking at the space of the actual boulevard and also the lighting in those boulevards. And that is reflected in your budget presented tonight.
I move to approve resolution number 4202.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Terry, a second from Commissioner Speaka.
Nope.
No, was that you?
It was.
Did you hold your voice?
I did.
We have a second from Commissioner Bueller.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
Any other questions regarding this resolution from the commission regarding the motion?
So when it says levying and assessing a special tax, it's the same as last year?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
It's not an increase.
No, and remember, those properties that have street frontage within, in front of a boulevard are assessed that levy.
Did you have a question on section 4 or no? Okay.
No, I just wanted to, just the way it was worded, a special tax. Well, it's not special because we've done it before. But, okay, I now understand that.
Any other comments from the commission or from the public? Okay, let's do a roll call vote.
We are approving resolution number 4202, a resolution of the City of Lewistown levying and assessing a special tax to cover the cost of maintenance Boulevard District Number 12 for fiscal year 2026. Commissioner Bueller.
Aye.
Commissioner Day.
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes.
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson.
Aye.
Commissioner Speaka.
Aye.
Commissioner Terry. Aye.
Also approved. We'll move on to item 6, discussion and action on approving resolution number 4203, a resolution levying and assessing the cost of maintenance, reserve, and administration and supplying of electrical current for the street lights within the city of Lewistown to properties within particular lighting districts. City Manager Holly Phelps.
So most properties in town are part of one, if not more, lighting districts. You can see we have not 20 districts, but up to number 20. And those are all various locations throughout the community. Depending on your geographic area and the lighting desired in your neighborhood, dictates the cost. And we are billed that directly from Northwestern Energy for both maintenance and electricity in those districts. And so you'll see the cost for all of those districts, and that is levied proportionately to those properties within each of those districts. So as I alluded to earlier, there has not been any changes. We feel confident that with the revenue projected and the expenses projected as well, that we will have the necessary funding to continue to fund those lights.
Just to make sure, resolution 4202 is included in that total cost of 110, is that correct? Or is that something outside of it, the one we just did?
That is, the 3,000.
Yep.
Is in, the general fund under revenue, under maintenance assessments.
Maintenance assessment.
So it's not
Okay.
included in this one here is Fund 2400.
Okay, thank you.
With the light maintenance.
Correct.
Why aren't they in numerical order? There's always-
I think they've been consolidated over the years.
It's more fun.
Well, they are in numerical order, we just don't have that many.
4, 5, I mean, a few of them have been
Consolidated.
Consolidated or
4 or 5, 9.
Any other questions for City Manager? We have a motion.
I move to approve resolution number 4203. Second?
We have a motion from Commissioner Terry and a second from Commissioner Speaka. Any other questions regarding this resolution?
So it makes a comment, levying and assessing the cost of maintenance reserve, so there is a reserve actually?
Yes, yep, and again, that account number is 2400 on your one sheeter. So
Okay.
you'll see what the projected, remaining cash, proposed revenues, expenditures, and then our estimated, cash remaining at the end of the year if 100% is expended. So even at the current level of funding, we're anticipating, over, 86,000 remaining.
Okay,
Any comments from the public
After the electrical situation.
or the commission? Okay, let's do a roll call vote.
We have a motion to approve resolution number 4203, a resolution levying and assessing the cost of maintenance, reserve, and administration and supplying of electrical current for street lights within the city of Lewistown. Commissioner Bueller,
Aye.
Commissioner Day,
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes,
aye,
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Commissioner Speaka,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Okay, moving on to item 7, discussion and action on approving resolution number 4204, a resolution estimating the cost of maintenance in street maintenance district number 1, specifying the assessment option and levying an assessment on properties for street maintenance. City Manager Holly Phelps.
Yep, so included in the resolution is the rate, which we briefly touched on earlier. The rate we discussed in kind of our budget prep was increasing the street maintenance assessment to 4 cents per square foot. Again, also, the resolution is the method of assessments, where you'll see, residential properties are capped at 15,000 square feet. And then commercial is not capped. And there is some provision that for larger lots that don't, have a public right-of-way near them, there is a way to decrease their street maintenance assessment. And so that's in B1 is the exception. Otherwise, all of them are laid out in this resolution.
So having on these, just like all of the different exceptions and things like that, is this all done by the city attorney? Or do you?
Nikki actually calculates, and those are part of our, tax software. So each property owner geocode is included in that software with square footages and things like that. And so she works with the Department of Revenue to keep that information up to date.
Is this, number 2,500 on our,
You are correct, yep.
okay. It says proposed revenue at 1.4 and this is showing 1.3. Is there a discrepancy there for some reason?
2,500 includes on that revenue on the one sheeter, includes the state entitlement share of 56,980. Miscellaneous revenues of 6,000. We're hoping to get 10,000 from the tree assistance program, and then also included is some penalty and interest.
Okay, thank you. I move to approve resolution 4204, resolution estimating the cost of maintenance in street maintenance district number 1.
I'll second. Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Bueller and a second from Commissioner Terry. Any other questions regarding this resolution? Public? Okay, let's do a roll call vote.
Okay, we are approving resolution number 4204, estimating the cost of maintenance in street maintenance district number 1 and specifying the assessment option and levying an assessment. Commissioner Bueller?
Aye.
Commissioner Day?
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes?
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson?
Aye.
Commissioner Speaka?
Aye.
Commissioner Terry?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, as item number 8, we will now be holding a public hearing on the 2025-2026 budget for the city of Lewistown. That public hearing is open. City Manager, Holly Phelps.
Yep, so we have spent approximately the last month and a half discussing the budget, going over the various funds. Tonight, you have the one sheeter on white. You also have the revenues, which are green, and proposed expenditures are on the pink paper. Again, we have in detail gone over substantial changes to all of those departments. Again, we were provided feedback from the various departments, kind of along the way, and presented that tonight. As far as changes made from preliminary, there are very little. We did double check numbers and make sure our permissive health, which we'll discuss with the next resolution, is accurate, and a few things like that. So no significant changes from preliminary.
We assume that the cash remaining is reserves, we thinking that that's.
if 100% of the revenue comes in as projected and 100% of the expenditures go out, that is what we're projecting as reserve for the next fiscal year, yes.
So this, I mean, I don't know why I would seem to remember we had like a reserve account.
We have some capital improvement type accounts and things like that, but not necessarily a specific reserve.
But then we just assume that some of this cash remaining.
And remember, you know, there are a lot of funds here that we're required to budget at least 50%. So those are, you know, the cemetery improvements, our perpetual care, which is the last line, the 80-10. We cannot touch those funds, but we still have to budget to expend. The library depreciation is the same way. So there are funds that we don't anticipate having to utilize either.
Is the street maintenance, is that a 50% budget? Like, that one is too, isn't it?
Correct. That's state law, at least 50%. But we do plan on doing a large scale street improvement project.
Just looking at last year's numbers and this year's, it shows a $4 million increase in proposed expenditure.
And those are again, we're still in the period of construction. Yep. So there's a lot of construction. We've drawn down a lot of our grants and stuff for those construction projects. So that's where revenues don't necessarily keep up with those expenditures. But large scale construction projects are still occurring.
Is that like the cemetery improvements?
Primarily, those are the water and wastewater improvements. Again, the streets improvement, we've budgeted about 1.4 million for street projects. So those are significant projects. Last year we did not.
And I think we've talked about, I'm just kind of looking down at that cemetery improvements, like their revenue is so low compared to the expenditures.
So also included in the general fund is the cemetery operations. And so we do budget about $8,000 for ongoing projects, expansion, things like that in the cemetery. Staffing, yep, day-to-day maintenance, and then those kind of ongoing expansion needs.
So will things like for that K-9 officer fund, will that disappear and fall off?
That goes away.
This fiscal year? And then what is that cash available, where does that go, just into the department or whatever else?
It's zeroed out.
We will move it to, drug forfeitures.
Oh, okay.
A few of these accounts are coming in at negative balance. Can you tell me why that is?
Negative
Cash available?
Cash available. So you can, you really can't see on here, but there is a large amount of outstanding, primarily in the trails. Those are the match from the Friends of the Trails for the paving project of 9,000, and we still have a few outstanding trails paved. Trail leases, railroad leases, that we have outstanding. And so that is, the other part is our receivables that have not been paid yet.
So in the one right above it was,
Where are you looking at?
2214 is.
so we've got 2214, 2865, and 2920. The 2865 is a DNRC grant with a negative cash available of 104,000. What is that?
So that's the cleanup grant,
Okay.
or the central post, and so those are due from the state. So again, we're the pass-through between the DEQ and the DNRC.
Okay.
And then the one below that is the trails paving, the FWP recreational trails program.
So where are we at on that? Because I thought that one was paid out,
It is closed out, we still have to get repayments on that.
from Fish, Wildlife and Parks.
And we just invoiced the trails as well, so.
And then didn't we do some sort of, just a teeny match on that?
Yes.
The city.
That ran through the paving maintenance portion of the street budget.
Oh, okay.
So that's already taken care of.
Is the city on a cash basis or approval?
Cause our water and sewer funds are on accrual.
Oh, everything else is cash. Interesting. So we don't have to do a budget amendment for a negative in a fund. We could do invoice for it. Is that why they're
Well,
not? going to do it?
it'll be, it's part of our grants and the auditors, that's part of them coming in on September 22nd. That they will look at all that and make sure it's all accounted for,
Book the
documented, and book it correctly.
Okay.
And so we do have a program, that is an AR, a receivable program, that, makes it super easy for us to invoice those and as well as document, what we receive and what we don't.
So as we're looking at this budget, we have fire and police here. Is there anything that you would like to weigh in on?
And it's just kind of a reminder, the biggest changes that the fire department had was their new, software reporting program, and police car was a significant change in the police.
Our software went up really expensive. The NIMFers is going away, that's who we report all of our fires and stuff to. And that's going away in January 26th. So we've been forced to switch companies. And so we've kind of been, the last year, looking over different companies, trying to find the best bang for our buck. And we finally found one that was about 3 times the amount of what we were paying. Pretty crazy. It's switching to Nearest, and the company we're with now was bought up by the company that we are going to. That transition would be easier than jumping ship and going to a completely different supplier. So, yeah, we moving forward with that. We have to be switched over by January 1st and 26th, so.
Where is that in the expenditure for, what would that be under?
Communication.
Under fire in the general fund.
It's on page 4, under fire department, under 349. So we are, budgeting that 7,800, correct?
Yeah.
And then, we'll have maintenance going forward, but I did not do any maintenance because I won't have that till next year. And then, of course, we had 11,000 this last year, so that's why it's 22,000.
There's other things that come out of that too with our portion of our emergency, or I'm responding program through dispatch. Yeah, the road district also has their own account, so we had one account with the current company, and then we just shared the cost. It was $1,788 a year for each department. And yeah, now it's switched, we have 2 accounts now, so, there's, went up about triple also. Other than that, I have some turnouts and stuff to replace this year. We replaced a bunch, the rural district here probably 2 years ago. I think we replaced 13 sets. We get a lot more use out of ours than we should. We should replace them every 5 to 7 years. We've got some turnouts over there that are 15 to 20 years old. We kind of go off of, if they're ripped and torn, you guys can't be wearing them. We replace those ones. Gotta be careful buying them though, because they're fitted for the person. If we buy them not fitted, you're dragging the backs of them off. It just gets ruined a lot quicker. So, they're expensive. They're about $5,000 a set. So, we try to take care of them, try to make them last as long as possible. So.
And the police is on page 3, and again, the biggest change, in the previous year, we had budgeted for the 2 cars. This year, we have 1 car budgeted and the upfitting for $70,000. Justin, anything else to add?
No, the only other and it's probably not on your sheet, we entered a 5-year agreement with Taser. We've been kicking the can down the road for the last couple of years, because Taser no longer lets departments outright purchase Tasers. You have to go to a lease program. So we have three Tasers in our department. The initial program was gonna cost city $12,000 a year, just for 3 Tasers, so we've been kicking that can on the road. Haggling with Taser, finally got down to $2,500 a year for 5 years, so it's really the only less lethal option available in the United States, so we're gonna spend $2,500 a year there. You're probably not gonna see it there, because typically we have 100 to 130,000 in our general fund that we don't spend every year. So I felt there was enough left over from what we historically don't spend to cover that cost, so we didn't ask for a budget increase for that.
Very randomly, 2942 is labeled home. What is that?
Grant. Yes, so like first-time home buyers, kind of that partnership there is what that was originally. And as you can see, we still have some funds, so again, they had a period of eligibility that, individuals had to be within their homes or repay part of that initial, down payment. And so that's where that funding came from. It is unrestricted, but does hang out in its own fund.
Any other questions from the commission? We are still in the public hearing. Any other
I mean,
comments?
the budget, is fine, but I don't understand.
Any other comments from the audience?
Guess if it's a public hearing, I might as well make a comment. I appreciate the hard work that our law enforcement does and our first responders. It's kind of easy doing those budgets, and $1,300 for well-maintained vehicle, keeping them safe and our public safe. It's money well spent. I appreciate that. So thank you.
Okay, we'll close the public hearing and move on to item number 9, which is discussion and action on approving resolution 4205, a resolution relating to final budgets, budget authorities, and annual appropriations for the fiscal year beginning July 1st of 2025 and ending with June 30th of 2026. City Manager Holly Phelps.
Yes, so we have reviewed the expenditures and revenues in the past. Again, our budget is on appropriations. We do have purchasing policies and things like that that the departments must follow. But what you're approving tonight is the maximum appropriation for expenditures. Again, we all know the process to amend that budget, and we do feel that there is the appropriate reserves remaining as well.
Could you say that again, what you said about the maximum, this is the maximum appropriation of what?
Of each of those various funds that they can spend without coming back to you guys for a budget amendment.
I move to approve resolution 4205.
I feel like before we can approve it, and I don't know the specifics on how to amend or modify a motion. Okay, I'll talk into the mic. I think to approve or move to approve our budget, we need to add in the caveat that we will be reviewing this in the next month due to outstanding state negotiations and make sure that we are within compliance so that we do not have funds withheld for much longer. So I don't know how to add that to the motion, but there needs to be some statement that that is something the commission is aware of, that we will need to review this again to make sure that the revenues are actually accurate to what we will be receiving. So that's long.
I'll let mine die and let you try.
That didn't work.
I'm okay with it because even if we lost $2 million theoretically, we still have enough cash. So.
It's true.
Not that we don't need to review it and watch it, but we're at no risk of default.
We are at no risk of default at present. We are beholden to the public to be good stewards of the money. So that is something that we need to make sure is very clear and open at this point.
So I wonder if you could approve it and say something along the lines of, because we're implementing the budget versus actuals and the cash reconciliation for the next 4 months.
So.
And I would say monthly budget versus actual, both for revenues and expenditures. And you could do it, contingent on monthly accounting.
Okay, so I would move to approve resolution 4205 with many caveats that we see monthly reconciliation of cash, tax and assessments, as well as the payroll clearing fund that will be sent to the state for the next 4 months. The commission also needs to see those. On top of that, we will also need to see revenue and expenditures each month.
Budget versus actuals.
And budget versus actuals. That is my motion.
So the original motion dies. Okay,
Yeah, it didn't have a second.
we have a second for the.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Commissioner Robertson. Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Bueller and a second from Commissioner Robertson of passing the budget with adding in what we discussed during the count, making sure that we have payroll clearing, cash reconciliations, and the tax and assessments,
As well as the budget actuals. Yep. Both revenue and expenditure.
Any other discussion or comments?
On 2310 tax increment, I know the proposed expenditures are like 1,715,000. And typically, it's been averaging about 40 to 75,000 a year. Is that, how'd you come up with that number to spend $1.7 million next year?
So that's what the board has recommended. They are still looking for a big project to invest in.
Okay.
And Tim could probably speak to that as a representative of that board. But I think they still have high hopes of funding a larger project
But the maximum grants are 20,000.
currently. But they do have some bonding opportunities and things like that, their loan programs, things like that.
So when you say they're looking for a project to finance for somebody to apply for that loan?
Correct.
Okay. Ready to go.
Any other comments from the public?
I have to agree with that. That Danny pulls amendment.
Thank you. Okay, let's do a roll call vote.
Okay, I have, we are approving resolution number 4205, a resolution relating to final budgets, budget authorities, and annual appropriations for fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending June 2026, with the, not sure what word I should put here, review on a monthly basis of payroll clearing accounts, tax reconcilements, cash balancing, and budget versus actual reports for revenues and expenditures. Commissioner Bueller,
Aye.
Commissioner Day,
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes,
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Commissioner Speaka,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Aye.
I would like to, make the comment that if we need help getting those 4 things done, and we hire somebody, I would approve that. That's a lot of stuff, but it's necessary.
Okay, we are entering into another public hearing for item number 10. It's a public hearing on resolution 4206, a resolution authorizing an increase in the city of Lewistown's mill levy in order to fund increases in premium contributions for medical group benefits for city employees and exempting the same from the mill levy calculation limitation provided for by law. So we are now in that public hearing. City Manager Holly Phelps.
Yep, so the permissive mill is, again, going back to 2000, when, we locked into a set number of employees within the general fund that had health benefits. And what we are proposing tonight is, to fund that increase in health insurance premiums for those same positions that were initially, approved back then. And so this year, that amount is an increase of, from the 2000 amount of $214,685.31, which translates to 27.76 mils. And so what that means, you will see that on these forms that were passed out. So what that translates to, a house valued at $100,000 would be an increase of $9.17. For a home valued at $300,000, it's $27.50, and a $600,000 property is $55 increase.
Wow. We do need to make a change to that. It's 673.
Holly, is that annual or is that that full estimated amount annually?
That's on an annual basis. Yep, it's a one-time, we appropriate this every year. Nikki is whispering in my ear that, based on the calculations, the increased amount is slightly different, it's a rounding, so it's $214,673, but the same number of mils.
Do you think they'll ever change July 1st, 2000? I mean, as such a long time ago.
And so that was the year that, the taxing laws in Montana changed. Our caps, our maximum, was set then. And so that is, we'll live on.
How many people did that represent?
Back then we had
33.
33.
And now we have 39, and they've changed the laws. It's changed. And the auditors have looked over it over the years, and they've explained to me how I need to do it, and I have documentation to provide to them to double check and make sure everything's right.
But 25 years for 33 people, it's gone up $250,000. That's crazy.
Back then, I think the average cost was less than $200 per month.
Per month.
On a monthly basis. Now we're over 1,000.
We've talked about this before, that this is basically the only option to be able to cover that cost.
A portion of that.
A portion of the cost.
Yeah, 'cause it's more than this.
Correct. Yeah, that's only for those specific individuals.
Do we have a motion?
I think we're in public hearings now.
Oh, we're in public hearing. So any other other questions from the commission?
You're on one side.
Need to give you that microphone.
I'll grab
I just
it.
wanna
The last
comment
two.
we need to keep, the city employees feeling needed, appreciated, wanted, and that's a good way to keep the good ones. The ones that don't destroy stuff with backhoes.
Okay, this public hearing, any other comments from the public?
Yeah, I had several questions here. I mean, why would you, increase the mill levy to, fund the, employees, the medical cost, and decrease the mill levy? I'm not in a contradiction in that statement.
So it doesn't count towards our cap, is what that resolution means.
What does it mean now?
That's 27.76 mils does not count towards our cap. So it's in addition to that original cap.
Oh, so you have the, increase in the, that cost of the employees without affecting the mill levy?
Without affecting our capped mills, yep.
Oh, okay, now I get it, okay, thanks.
Okay, this public hearing is closed, and we'll move on to item number 11. Discussion and action on approving resolution number 4206, a resolution authorizing an increase in the city of Lewistown's mill levy in order to fund increases in premium contributions for medical group benefits for city employees and exempting the same from the mill levy calculation limitation provided for by law. City Manager Holland Phelps.
Yep, again, this is something in state law that allows municipalities to help offset some of the health insurance premiums that have substantially grown over the last 25 years.
Oh, boy.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a
How many
motion from
years?
Commissioner Terry and a second from Commissioner Rubes. Any other comment or questions for City Manager from the commission or the public?
It's 25 years since that has grown to $214,000.
Okay, let's do a roll call vote.
We're approving resolution number 4206, an increase in the City of Lewistown's mill levy in order to fund increases in premium contributions for medical group benefits. Commissioner Bueller.
Aye.
Commissioner Day.
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes.
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson.
Aye.
Commissioner Speaka.
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Aye.
Okay, our final item for the evening, number 12, discussion and action on approving resolution number 4207, a resolution providing for the annual tax levy mills for fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026. City Manager Holland Phelps.
Yep, so at a previous meeting, we went over our certified values and what the maximum we could mill was based on the formula that's provided by the Department of Revenue. The maximum the city can mill in the general fund is, after right resolution, 248.2 mils.
220.44.
Oh, sorry, that's the
Oh.
220.44. Then as we previously discussed, milling for the permissive health mill of 27.76 mils for a total of 248.2 mils. Again, also provided in your information tonight is what the increase for the general fund mills does based on certain properties. And so this is required by state that we go over the financial impact of those decisions. And so for a home valued at 100,000, again, that increase from over last year on our mills adds $50.34. $300,000 homes, it increases $151.02, and $600,000 it increases by $302.05.
Yikes.
Again, based on recent legislative changes, there is going to be some different taxable rates coming down the turnpike in the next years, and some changes as far as property values go.
And then just to note, you made that change with the number 7, you have to make it in this one too.
Correct. Mine that I will have signed by the chairman is corrected. I did not notice it before the packets went out. I apologize.
Which number is corrected?
So that's 214,673.
Thank you.
So this is basically the new, this is including what we just passed.
Correct.
This is the mills to cover
All this stuff.
The mini mills.
I move to approve resolution number 4207.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Terry and a second from Commissioner Bueller. Any other comments or questions from the commission? Okay, anything from the public? Okay, let's do a roll call vote.
We're approving resolution number 4207, a resolution providing for the annual tax levy and mills for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026. Commissioner Bueller.
Aye.
Commissioner Day.
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes.
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson.
Aye.
Commissioner Speaka.
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Aye. Okay. Good work, everyone. Okay, moving on to citizens' requests. Do we have any citizen requests? Okay, all right, we'll start with our commissioners' minutes. We'll start with Commissioner Robertson. Do you have a minute?
Only to say that I appreciate the attitude of everybody involved in the response to the state's concerns about the audit process. I think everybody's doing the right thing and trying to get the best information out there and fill any holes that we might have if we find that we do have them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, Commissioner Speaka?
I don't think I have anything.
Commissioner Bueller?
I'd also comment that I appreciate the commission's forward thinking about having a third-party review of that financial documentation so that we have clear instruction forward on how to mitigate or resolve that issue. I also have another minute. Last Monday, probably, there was the inspection of the dams. And unfortunately, that caused Spring Creek to rise significantly. Because I have a person in the know, I know it went from 160 CFS to over 400 CFS in a matter of hours. And that means that Spring Creek is at flood stage almost. Unfortunately, there was very little, if any, communication out of the city that that was going to happen to both the residents and other departments across our community. And so people like me and others received lots of calls about that. There was great concern. And I can understand if the creek is in your backyard and you see it rise that quickly, it is concerning. But I would like to point out, because I was next to Big Spring Creek, I saw multiple 5th graders after football swim in the creek because they had no idea it was high. I saw our cross-country team go into the creek because they had no idea it was high, as well as our football team. And that, to me, is a very serious problem.
Yes.
Because these things can be incredibly dangerous, and the risk is far too high. And purely being able to make the phone call to notify agencies as well as notify the public that this is happening is incredibly important. And I think it was a great misstep on our part. So I'd like to see things like that resolved and better communication out to our public. So unfortunately, that's kind of a tough thing, but we need to do a better job. We need to hold ourselves to a higher standard.
And so I have already agreed to better communication with the agencies. Some knew that it was occurring, others did not, and so we can do a better job.
I think it's very good. I see the communication from Fergus County DES. They do a good job on Facebook. Putting information like that out.
If you have Facebook.
If you have Facebook, is a way to reach the public. Also putting up signage at reservoirs that they are going to be drained is also good signage. And there's lots of different steps we can take to keep people informed. And that is our job, especially when our children are involved.
And that was disaster services?
DES.
Okay. They monitor the water level?
Lots of different agencies monitor the water level.
She just said that was a good outlet.
It's a great outlet for communication.
Okay.
Much like when we are plowing all of the roads for snow, it is great to communicate with our public that things that affect them, their health and safety, we are taking seriously, and we let them know that it's happening.
Are those dam inspections, are they like scheduled? Or like how much notice do we have?
Yep.
Like you said, we do X
Significant.
amount every.
So it occurs every 5 years, and we coordinate with DNRC and our contractor, which is a third-party engineer, as far as when to draw those down and stuff. So there was other agencies that have requested that advance notice, and so I did agree to that.
And that advance notice has been done in the past. It's something that we need to keep up in the future.
You're good. You're done.
I'm done.
You're done, okay.
1 minute.
Commissioner Roots,
I have nothing.
Commissioner Terry,
I have 2 minutes. One is, I just have like a message to, you put this in the paper and you put your name on it too, but like, I don't understand why the people who are running for city commission are not attending meetings. Please put that in the paper. They're not here. The people who are running for city
we've had
commission.
a couple phone in, but never any questions or comments or.
One was in the audience in the past, so we have seen them a couple of times.
Okay, well, the election's like 2 months away, and
There's lots of big things
there's
happening.
lots of
in
things,
the city.
so I would encourage those who are running for city commission to attend meetings. That's my 1 minute. And then my other minute is just in regards to the state letter and stuff. I would encourage that in the future, when stuff like this happens and comes down, that the city commission is made aware.
And thank you
As soon
to
as possible.
Commissioner Day and Beeler for joining us on that call today, and relaying that information to Florida.
Okay, I would just like to bring attention to the city manager report that we as a commission were asked to review, the biosolids plan and come up ready for discussion on how we feel we can best, how did you word that? I want to just pull that back out.
They move forward with the future handling of biosolids.
Yes, you want us prepared with that information at the next meeting.
Yep, and if you have specific questions, let me know. If you would like the experts that prepared that document to be in attendance, we can definitely make that happen as well.
And I know that the Big Spring Creek watershed, they also sent a letter of support in a particular facet.
And we'll let them know that we're taking action as well. I'm sure we'll have some in attendance.
Cool. Okay, so just drawing
Did
attention
you
to
already,
that.
do we already have that information?
It was sent out, and you were provided hard copies of it. I think in August, probably the first meeting.
Something
It's a
like,
big,
But I can
big
resend
packet.
yeah.
Or if you need another paper copy, I do have, we can print you out.
The pros and cons of all of that.
Yep.
I'll
I love
have
it.
to
The
dig-
group
I'll dig
comp,
deep and find it.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and then also, I just wanted to draw attention to the LDA has been making a lot of efforts in organizing micro events in our community to help the downtown businesses and support that. So they are bringing back a Choke Cherry Eve Bash, which will be Friday night. So come downtown. I know that Rising Trout staying open later. Ice cream will be open. It just should be a really fun night. River Tooth Band will be performing, and it's a free event sponsored by the LDA. So it should be a lot of fun to get people out downtown. Hopefully, a lot of the vendors will also make it out that are here for Choke Cherry, and we'll just have a nice little kickoff for doing that and supporting all of the efforts that the LDA makes. And that is all, that's my little plug. Ding ding for that event, and anything else for the good of the order? Okay, thank you everyone, that was a long meeting, but lots of important things discussed, and that's good. Okay, meeting adjourned.
Great job.